All right, peeps, this is the 21st of January, fake year 26. We're getting ready to call back Nincompoop's space that he occupies, Dave Taylor. So let's just jump right into it.
This is the Office of Congressman Dave Taylor. Nico speaking. How may I help you?
Nico, how are you today?
Hey, Mr. Preston, how's it going, sir?
Well, a hell of a lot better once I figured out this corrupt organization called a government.
Hey, you have a message you'd like us to pass along for you, sir?
Well, actually, yeah, but before I get to that, I wanted to know where my message from yesterday is actually at today.
Sure. So, at least on our end, I have your message down. I can actually find it. And, James, if you don't mind, can I just confirm a zip code from you? I must have forgot your zip code, but I do remember your first and last name, sir.
Are you coming to get me, or what's going on here?
Absolutely not, sir. I'm just merely, it's just for our record's sake.
4.
Got it. Okay.
Because if you guys are sending a hitman or something for me, I'm all right with it. I'll give you my address and all that stuff. That's all right with me.
All right.
This is
What can I do for you today?
well. Again, I'm wanting to confirm and see where my message, where it's actually at, that I gave yesterday.
Okay. Give me 1 moment, sir. Give me 1 moment.
I think those were bullets he was throwing my way there. Sound like a machine gun there. Nico the Assassin.
Looking right here for you. I've got it down right here. It's just sitting here at the current moment.
Well.
So it hasn't went anywhere.
There you go. There you go. There's where our voice is.
No, it's certainly down here, sir, and it's been passed along. Outside of that, sir, I have no further information for you at this time.
No, I know, and that's the damn problem, Nico. You're showing me exactly what it is why I'm doing this. Is because you're supposed to be able to call in. And then our message is supposed to make it to Congress, but it never does, and it never will. The only way that it will ever get there is like if you're sucking the tit of Trump, or if you're singing the praises or something, like I once did, until he turned juice boxy on us, and then started telling me that he didn't need me anymore,
And that
or
we were
any
stupid.
of us.
And then we're stupid.
But now old Taylor, see, the representative of the 2nd District, and I hope you're taking this message down, because I want this to go to Congress. I want this to be heard. Taylor, see, all he's doing is he keeps riding on whatever Trump's saying or whatever, and So my message, or as far as you're concerned, the people's message, you don't know where it's at today.
Sure, it's right here. It's been passed along. That's just all the information that I have at this time in legitimacy to say to you at this current moment.
Okay, but Nico.
Like in
what,
reality to say. But I've certainly passed your message along for you, sir.
Okay, who did you pass it to?
Sure. So it went around the office. I've got it right here. I'm looking at it right now. It was passed along for you, sir.
Okay, you're looking at it right now. That's great. Well, you looked at it yesterday whenever you took it down.
Sure.
But what I want to know is why or where is it to go now?
Well, it's in the system, sir, so it's been passed along.
Okay, what does that mean?
Sure. So again, as far as our processes are aware of, I've certainly passed along your message, and that's all I can necessarily say for it at the current moment.
But why? Okay, let me ask you something. If you had an employee and they give you an answer like that, would you accept that? Hey, you know what? I do have a message. Where is my message? That's my message. What is happening? What is happening with my messages? What is happening with we the people's voice? With our messages? Where are they at?
Certainly taking them down for you. I'm passing them along for you, James.
Okay, but this is the message, Nico.
Okay, taking it down.
Okay, this is the message. I want to know whenever I call in that the message is being processed in such a way that it can be confirmed where it is at in whatever transition that it needs to follow until it reaches the destination, which should be where? The Congress. Congress. Somebody should be hearing my words, our words, we the people's words. But this is right here why that we the people do not have any faith whatsoever is completely gone, that this administration, this government is capable of running anything outside of their finger up their own hind end. And that's the message.
And
we,
then
we
when
know that there's monopolies that's going on with the Bill Gates and all the other juicy box names and stuff like that that's going on, all the money that's being spent overseas and stuff like that, and the whole time they're stifling the First Amendment and our freedom of speech and stuff right here. And whenever we're talking to the people that should have, you know what? Here's the thing: there shouldn't be any disrespect out of you whatsoever coming at me right now for even saying it. What
I was getting ready to say that. You know, he asked you a question, and that's your job, is to answer his questions and to take down his message without
Yours too.
an attitude.
Yours too.
He was just trying to get you to say, okay, well, your message is in the database, and you know, Tom and Bob and whoever else has read it, and it's on its way to Dave Taylor or whatever.
No. You know what? The thing that we never hear is Dave Taylor. It's laying on his desk, and he's going to read it, and I'm going to verify that for you and get right back to you as soon as he reads it or whatever, and he gives me a response to it. Or Dave Taylor's got it, and it will be in Congress tomorrow. Or wait a minute, or is he still on vacation? And you know what? That's a question. So let me take that question back and let me make it a statement that you can take to Congress, which we know will never make it, like the one from yesterday. But how long does anyone? No, that's still a question. Nobody needs to take a month for a vacation. Nobody needs a month's vacation. I mean, think about it. That's 1/12 of a year.
But
for a vacation.
But your job is to take the message without an attitude.
We don't need to tell him his job, because he's sitting there making $70,000 off of you and I and we the people, and he wants to disrespect us and talk to us like that we're a burden to him. Which that is a message to take to Congress, that we're not supposed to be talking to answer machines, but since we do talk to answer machines, that they are disrespecting we the people. They are deciding, they are being the judge and jury of what messages actually get where and when, and if they even do, which they don't. And I am proving that right now. Because we cannot get any factual, straight answers to where our message is. You know what? They've got tunnels and stuff going all across underneath America and stuff like that. Nobody wants to speak about. The guy that did speak about the tunnels wound up dead. And, you know, we have no faith that the government is going to look into it and do an investigation on these tunnels that's all across America and stuff, because they're the ones that's using them. What is it?
You wanted to talk about the Epstein list.
Oh, yeah, and the Epstein, you know, we guarantee this is never ever going to be heard or whatever. But anybody that says, "Are you still talking about the Epstein list?" has got to be guilty as Epstein himself. You just ain't going to do that. And that's a message that I want taken to Congress. nobody's going to be letting Epstein go away. And nobody's going to stop eating meat because Gates doesn't like how they fart and stuff like that. And you know what? Here's something really interesting. If cow farts is causing a problem to the ozone or whatever, I'm all about burning that sucker up, because what about whenever there was literally millions of bison roaming America at one time, until some brilliant asshole thought it was brilliant to run them off of a cliff in herds just to kill them, so they could just, take the pelts off of them. But there was literally millions of bison, and you're going to tell me that, they didn't fart? Of course they did. It's the same thing as a cow darn near.
Someone's
Now,
deleting comments from Dave Taylor.
And here's a question, but I'm going to redo this for you, Nico, that way that it's not in the form of a question. Whenever I am trying to look at Dave Nincompoop Taylor's website, and somebody's deleting the messages or whatever on there, I don't know why they would be doing that. But they don't need to be deleting the messages and stuff like that, because that's freedom of speech. You know what? Clearly, they'll give the thumbs up button, but they don't want to have the thumbs down button. Now I wonder why. Because if the only thing you can see is one side, well, you start brainwashing people to thinking, oh, look, there's, 12 thumbs up. People must really like it or something. Then you blow past it. No, read the comments. He's got more thumbs down than he ever got thumbs up or whatever. And nobody gives a crap. And this is a message also. Nobody gives two shits about broadband. Nobody is caring about that at all. And if it is a thing, well, where is this Skynet? Oh, wait, not Skynet. What's it called? That Elon Musk has with the Stargate, all of his little satellite dishes, What's that called?
I can't remember what it's called. Let me look it up.
Skynet, that's what it is.
Yeah, that's what it is,
But so why are they still asking for more money that was already allotted for that at once upon a time, if memory serves me correctly? And then there was nothing ever done. It's kind of like out in California when they spent billions of dollars on this computer thing or whatever.
Usenet.
Not one of, huh?
Usenet.
No, not HughesNet. No, not the one Elon Musk got.
Starlink.
Starlink. That's it. Yeah, Starnet. Starlink. Yeah. So if they have that, why don't they just make give Elon some more money that they don't even need? I just forget about. Like, what is this? What is this infatuation with trying to get broadband? I don't understand why Taylor is so. What's your fascination with that? I do not believe that any constituents is actually coming to and saying to him, we really need broadband. I just can't see it. And I've never read it in the comments or anything, unless those are the ones being deleted. Right? Hey, Nico, I think that you had enough of me for today. I know I've had enough of you. So I'm going to call back tomorrow, and we'll see if you can give me a more direct and a more definitive answer of where my message from yesterday is then.
With a better attitude.
Let you know, it was passed along to the congressman. Piece of mail for you here in the office for you. So.
What is it?
It was passed along to the congressman and the staff for you, sir. There's a letter. There's a stack, but there is a letter for you, sir.
A letter for me?
Yeah.
Read it.
No, sir, I wouldn't want to be the one to open it up and do that, but, rest assured, it's for you, sir.
Oh.
It's their standard.
Yeah, it's the standard thank you for contacting us or whatever. Yeah, well, don't worry. I mean, like I said, if you're needing to confirm my address for Hitman or something like that.
Jeffrey James.
Okay. Now, Nico, did you also include in there on that message that won't go anywhere? Did you get that where I wanted a list of like the staffers, like what their status is that's in the office and stuff there, like if they're full time or if they're an actual employee or if they're a student or what their status is?
I did throw it in yesterday's note, and I can add it into this one as well
Yeah,
to double down
yeah,
for you, sir.
sure. Yeah, it's not going to make any difference anyway because it's not ever going to get to Congress, is it? All right. Well, thanks again, there, Nico. I appreciate it, brother. God bless you.
Yep. Take care, James. Have a
Talk
great
to you
day.
tomorrow. There is no more proof than one needs than this right here. It's the same thing. And you know, if you go back and you watch my earlier, older videos and stuff, you'll see where I called in and you keep like leaving messages and stuff. And then I was telling all of you out there, I was like, oh, you got to call in. You got to call in. Here's the number, 202, blah, 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 3121. You got to call in, you know. You call the Washington switchboard and you tell them who it is that you want to talk to, and then they put you in touch with that office. But it's all smoke and mirrors. It's just it's a tail chase. That's all this is. It's just a tail chase. Now tomorrow we'll call in and so on and so forth. I actually held this over because I wanted it to go hand in hand with yesterday's video. So, and I wanted to show. And not make you guys have to wait to the next day and so on and so forth on this, because it's critical that we understand that it's a waste of time trying to jumpstart this dead horse, the government. Nico Rico there, you know what I mean? It's not going to go anywhere. See, old Nico, all he is, he's a gatekeeper. They're not answer machines, they're gatekeepers, you know? When you call in, you know, you'll talk to a human answer machine gatekeeper, or you'll talk to a mechanical gatekeeper machine. It's just time to move on. It's time to move on. It's past time. We should have done it a long time ago. But we thought that we had one big chance at this, and that was with Donald Trump. But nope, that's not turning out to be accurate at all, is it? Now, you see, at first I thought, well, maybe he's playing, you know, the art of the deal, and he's playing the big chess game and everything, you know. But I don't understand any chess game if he thinks it's a game. That's, you know, that's bad anybody, because this is no game. There's already people now that's no longer with us because of this. Interesting enough, Operation Warp Speed. Huh. Anybody recall Operation Warp Speed? You know, whenever Dumpy Trumpy was like rushing out the vaccine. Remember? Let's get that out there. Hurry up, get it out there. Now, why would you name it something that's got like a wartime name to it? Operation Warp Speed, you know? I don't know, there's something to that that's just not right. Oh, I think I know what it is. All the people that's no longer here now, right? And, oops, made a boo-boo, didn't we? Where's that damn eraser at? No, reach me that eraser over here. Will you? Here, let's just erase all the COVID garbage and all that. Yeah, we'll erase all the people and we'll put them back in. Oh, wait, you can't do that. Oh, yeah, that's right. You know, the good news is Lord ultimately wins, you know, but I'm just not willing to just lay down and say, well, you know, he's going to win, so, you know, why do anything? Just let it go, you know. Because I had thought of that several times, you know. It's like nobody wants to wake up, nobody wants to do anything. But the good news is, more good news, every time that I read comments that I see more and more people actually, you know, showing up, like waking up and asking like the really smart, intelligent questions. But now what we have to do, this is my point. Enough with the questions. Let's get on with the really smart answers, for we the people. How are we going to escape the prison that we find ourselves in? We got to start communicating. We got to start, appointing people to positions that need filled. And right now it's wide open. I mean, plumb up the board. We need, and you know what? I don't think that we should ever have one appointed until we come up with the names or whatever for it. But at the top should not be one. At the top, just like with the Supreme Court or whatever, if you watch, they're usually split one way or the other, with a winning deciding or what have you, Now, we should have something kind of sort of like that with whoever we appoint. And I believe that it should be like from each state, or maybe not even have like states, maybe just like have like all the country be as one, because this whole state stuff actually divides people and stuff, I mean, even the games now, not that I was ever huge into sports or anything, but once upon a time, I kind of seen that there's something about raising winners and stuff in there. But let me you know what, let's go ahead and talk about that for just a minute. When I was getting into football and stuff, I really believed then, I remember watching Green Bay, play, in the snow. Snow was coming down, the fields all just nasty with mud and stuff, And, their jerseys were all ripped up and stuff. They had mud jammed up in their helmets and stuff. I mean, really convincing that they was playing to win. Now, why did they change that, though? Why do you think? Because if you don't know already, you can look this up, but it's all scripted. Each player has a script. Like, you can get on there and see that one, like, he said, oh, man, I'm going to have a torn RCL or whatever it is, Maybe RCA, TV or something. Whatever it is, RCL. But you can literally watch them reading their scripts before it happened, and then guess what? It happens. It is all a show. And, George Carlin. Okay, he is a comedian. And he is one filthy-mouthed comedian. And if he wasn't against, religion, I mean, he was super smart on a lot of stuff that he said and stuff. I pray that he got saved before he went or whatever, whenever he did. I don't even know if he did or when. Yeah, I know he passed away, but I don't know what year that was or anything. But anyway, my point is, he was super smart, and he's the one that said, hey, this is one great big club, and you ain't in it. And he's talking about all of the, and I hesitate every time to say it. They call them the elites, and I don't even like calling them that. So I call them the demons, And I'm going to tell you, every once in a while, you will run into someone who is light and bright. And like you can just tell that they absolutely have no malice in their heart. and they're not a mean person at all. Like they're just, you can tell they're a good person. And yeah, and it's so far and few in between. But I got some more good news. Every once in a while, you come across them. And today, for the second time, now I guess this was probably about a week ago or so, but I stopped into a Dollar General, and there was a young lady in there. Her name's Lily. And she was just so nice. It was one of them moments where you're like, what? When you go into Walmart and they're like, oh, well, Walmart, your day, you know, or whatever, you know, it's like, man, shut up. If you can't just say it genuinely. No, this gal was genuine. I mean, really, really. Super nice, friendly, helping them, talking to them. Today, I stopped in second time that she was in there, and or that I was in there and she was in it. And I listened to how she was treating the customers and stuff as they was coming and leaving. But now, she was like, I mean, it actually was a breath of fresh air. It took me back to when people genuinely, and I don't know where she got it from or anything like that, but I told her, you know, whenever I did talk to her, that was amazing, keep it up. But I started, unfortunately, I had to put some anchors on her floating spirit there that she has, because of all of the cloud poisoning that they're doing, the sky poisoning that they're doing, with the aluminum poison and stuff that they're doing with the chemical trails. Chemtrails my ass. It's chemical poison trails. You know, and I asked her also, I said, in the Bible, you know, who are God's chosen people? Guess what she said? Guess what she said? Guess what she said? Yes. Just stand. Yeah, go ahead now.
Juice box.
Yeah. 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 She said what I used to say too, you know. My amazing mama, when she was here, you know, I can remember her reading the Bible, I don't know how many times, from front to back. And if I was wanting something, she would say, well, sit down there and let me read you the Bible a little while. You know, younger, he's like, you know, but you had to do it if you wanted any chance of getting what you wanted, right? So, but you'd sit there and she would tell you and read out of the Bible certain parts and stuff. And I never ever heard her read that they were the chosen people, but I can remember having the conversation about it. So, but then, you know, many years later now, when I find out that these individuals, they don't go by the Bible. They have what's called their Talmud. And do you know what it says? And if you haven't heard this yet, please jump in the comments. Like, share, and subscribe, all that stuff, absolutely. But if you haven't heard of this until now, you know, leave me a comment. You know, heard or not heard or something. Where you're from, too, would be awesome. Because, you know, I just discovered now I can actually start seeing who's actually subscribed and stuff, and seeing faces and stuff, and we'll get into that later on, because you guys are amazing. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you. Well, to the ones that I haven't got to meet face to face yet, you know, and if you're in a different part of the country or the world, Australia, awesome, you know. Canada, thank you guys so much, man. You guys are going through a bunch of garbage up there, aren't you? Wow. But, you know, everybody looks to America, or they have in the past and stuff, and I'm telling you right now, we need to be looking to some other countries, because other countries have done had enough of old Bill Gates's garbage hind end, and we know that he's a juicy, right? We got to think of something better. I just can't. I don't like calling them. You know what I mean? That demons. That's what we need to call them. You know, because they're. This is what I was going to say. They don't go by the Bible. They got their Talmud, and it literally says, "Oh my gosh!" If you'd read it, man, I don't want to read it, but I felt it's our obligation to actually look and see what it is that we're dealing with, because we've been closing the door on this mold, and that mold is coming through the cracks, and now it's infested the rest of our living quarters where we want to relax and chill. You know, we can't do that no more. No. We're infested. And their Talmud says that a little girl, 3 years and 1 day, is perfectly fine to rap, you know. And also, it goes further. So I'm not going to stay. I'm not. Here's the thing. You got to watch what you say on this here. This is why we got to do away with the monopolies and stuff. Why is there not somebody that just says, "Hey, let's put out an app," you know, and just willy nilly, like whatever you want to say, whatever you want. I wonder if Rumble's like that. Rumble's like, you can't say what you want to on Rumble, neither. I don't know if any of you's on Rumble or whatever. Let me know, man, because this whole having to change words and all that stuff, you know, is absolutely garbage. And you know what? If you have a patent on something, so what? Big deal. Who gives a flying crap? Why am I saying that? Well, look what they do. Have you ever seen something you think, wow, man, you know, I'd make something like that, but you'd probably get in trouble because surely they got a patent on that. Well, they usually do. But look what China's doing. Like, you can get on there right now. What's the name of that one site where you order all the cheap stuff?
AliExpress.
AliExpress or whatever, you know. Like, you can get super cheap knockoff Japanese, Chinese, junkery stuff off there with it. Now, don't get me wrong, some stuff's pretty awesome. You know what I mean? But it's like, well, wait a minute. Isn't there a patent on that? And you can find the same thing with a patent on it. And then you can look at, like, you see what I'm saying? Like, it doesn't even make any difference. And that's wrong. But here's the thing. We don't have any government, and I've already showed that with the phone calls and stuff here. Your voice means squat nothing. And here, if you're thinking that whenever you vote, because I used to say, hey, go vote, gotta go out and vote. I don't know if y'all recall, but there was a vote for issue 1, yes or no, or whatever. And it was about ending the unborn, you know. And I was on here, and you go, the video's still up or whatever, you know. You can't get any traction if you're on here speaking about something that people do not want to hear about, learn about, talk about, or anything. You can't. Not easily. Now, it takes a long time to get enough traction to build up even, you know, a few hundred subscribers. But the great news is, man, I was so excited whenever it did happen, because that tells me that there's so many people out there that actually get it, you know, and that they're grounded, and that, you know, they want the truth. And you are a unique, special individual. And thus is kind of why that I am talking about Miss Lily at Dollar General. Because whenever you find special people, they're precious, you know. And I appreciate every one of you. Again, now, their Talmud says 3 years and 1 day that an old man or whatever can actually rip her. Okay? And I hope that sounds bad because the other word's bad, and I hope that applies because it sounds bad and it's extraordinarily bad. Demonic. And you know what? We don't really give that word its due. But think about it. Whenever you say a word like demonic, I mean, think about what you're putting in there. I mean, what comes to my mind is first and foremost is Satan. Now, here's something else that I would encourage you to do if you don't already. Don't, whenever you hear like Satan or the devil, don't think of it as just one red-headed figure with horns sticking out the head and a tail or whatever. Don't, or you know what I mean? Don't do it. Or even Baphomet or whatever with the goat and the, you know, and all that sick stuff or whatever. But it is there because it confuses your mind. Think about that. Whenever you look at Baphomet and it's got a goat head and horns and then it's got female parts on it and it's got animal hooves and stuff. It is there to confuse you right away, and it works, you know, because next time that you look at that picture, even if you think about it right now, think about how confusing it is. It's like you look and your brain is trying to make sense out of it. Well, you can't make sense out of it. That's what I say. When it comes to common sense, common law, it makes sense. Like if something makes sense to you, you know, it lines up. It's comfortable, you know. But when something doesn't make sense, you're confused, and you know it really messes with you pretty bad. Now, after it says that, being with a little girl 3 years, 1 day, because I'm sure they, you know, I'm pretty sure they probably, you know, go down through there and say, now let's see, you was born when? Okay, so, okay, day after tomorrow, you know what I mean? Yeah, like they'd be holding that, right? But it says after that the tears will flow from the little girl. But that's okay because the virginity will return in 3 years. Read it. Read it. It is insane. Insane. And who uses the Talmud? Now here's the thing. Here's what the seal of the deal is for me. All right. Now there's people that says, well, I don't want Christianity being shoved down my throat and all that stuff. Okay, well, great. But really, I have never seen somebody who's truly a Christian shove anything down anybody's throat. Now, there may be somebody that's passionate, you know, which is great, because the Bible says not to be lukewarm. It says to be... But you know what? That's another thing to get into, because I'd really been spending a lot of time trying to figure that out. Like, lukewarm, what does that mean? What does that mean? And we will get into that. But there's actually a twist on what I was actually thinking about whenever it comes to that. And one of these times, hopefully here in the near future, maybe we can discuss it. But anyway, nobody shoves anything down your throat. They're just excited for what they have, and let's face it, you want to see your family go to the same place that you're going to wind up, right? And when you find something good, if you're not an evil person, I mean, here on earth, if you was walking along with 5 other people, and you happen to move a stone or something and you see a bunch of coins or something fall out, you might ease that stone back down and then say, well, guys, I think we're just going to go on home because I ain't feeling so well. And then you disappear and you go back home. And then once you know everybody's cleared out the way, you run back and move that stone out the way and you get all that for yourself, right? Greedy, right? Now, it ain't that way when you're a Christian. If you got something good or you find something good, you want to share it. You want everybody to make it there, Now, the key thing, the Bible says to be good and to love even bad people. It says even, be good to even your enemy. Think about that. Saul that became Paul, right? Okay, now if you see one person that gets changed and their heart becomes lighter and their burdens become non-existent and stuff, and they finally wake up and they see a reason to get up out of bed and stuff, not for self-gain or whatever, but to help others in whatever way. You can literally watch somebody go from having the weight of the world on their face to just being lighter than air. So, the reason I'm saying this is because if you look at the Talmud, and we're just comparing these two here for obvious reasons, we're overrun, we're infested. And if you don't understand that, Hollywood, TV, the news, which is north, east, west, and south, news, N-E-W-S, news. Okay, BroadNet. Broad. Why are they saying that? BroadNet. They're casting a broad net. That's why they call it, broadcasting live from, wherever it is, because they're casting that broad net because they want to influence your brain and, it's brainwashing. But the Talmud says that you and I, unless you're one of those rippers, starts with the, the juicy thingy there we're trying to figure out something for. Now, they are calling us Goyim. They're not just calling us Goyim. We are Goyim. And if you haven't heard this, here you go. Goyim is less than animal. Their Talmud actually tells them, okay, if you find something and it belongs to a Goyim, you don't have to return it. That's what it says. You're good with it. If you do anything bad to a Goyim or whatever, it's actually better. I mean, you can literally kill an animal of any kind, and that's worse, or that's not as bad as like doing something to a Goyim. You and I. So many things. But if you read the Bible, what's the main thing that the Bible says? It says to be good. How could you have a problem with that? Only a demon, somebody that wants bad things for you and bad things to happen to you, and I mean that honestly, they really want something bad to happen to you. If they are upset because you tell them God bless you, or if they say, hey, I'd like to see you get saved, or, come go to church with us or something, how can you find that offensive? I mean, that makes no sense whatsoever unless you understand what I had to finally understand. Evil does not have anything to do with common sense. Nothing. Evil is evil for the fact of being evil. Can't change it. Not going to change. It has no heart. It doesn't care. It definitely doesn't have empathy. No sympathy. Nothing. It's just evil. It's quite interesting because, again, while I was speaking with Lily at the counter, there was another lady that was standing back, and I'd moved back and just kind of quit talking and stuff so she could come up, and but she didn't want to. She was like, "No, please continue," and that's what I say, man. There's some good news that there's people that, but. Another thing that I just thought of, Lily, when she was being nice to these people that was coming before I even went up and was checking out or anything, but when these people were leaving, she was being as nice as she could be, and you know exactly what I'm talking about because we've watched time and time again, but but not quite to this extent. But somebody'd say, "Have a nice day," or whatever. They wouldn't even look back or nothing. And these people, like, even though she was genuinely saying, "Hey, be careful out there, it's slick," and she was saying it genuinely, which was mind blowing. But then as they're going out the door, they didn't even look back. They didn't say thank you, you too, or nothing. What have we let into our country? What have we let in here? Would you let these type of people in your house? Well, you let them in the country. Speaking of that, remember that this government, the one before it, the one before it, and the one before it, and the one before that, way back, have decided, okay, if we create the problem, we'll create the solution. The same way with the same rippers, juicies, that they would fund each side of a war. How are you going to lose with that? You can't lose, right? So they say, let's see. Let's put in old Bobo Biden there, and let's open the gates up and let all of these invade in here. Because I said it before, I'll say it again. America was like a glass of fine wine, or whiskey, a real stout, stiff, really good drink, or fill in whatever you want to put in the glass there. And every once in a while, they would put in, they would let a drip in or whatever because, slow enough, and then you pour more out of the bottle in it. It keeps it a nice, good, stout, pure drink, right? And the drops that's coming in literally mingles in and becomes a part of the drink. Okay, no. They can't see that. They want to destroy us if it's not too late already, right? So now they've got bottles or an inlet of a degree that it's just as much or more. It's actually more because they are watering down, what we had. And that's what they want. They want to make us extremely weak. And in the meantime, not only are they letting in all of the regular other whatever that's coming into the country, but then they're also bringing in, let me see what this here is here. I'm being passed here. What is this? Hey, read that. Yeah, right. Yeah, go ahead. I'm going to read this here.
That's Galatians 5:9 and 1 Corinthians 5:6. It's part of the Bible says a small amount of something corrupting, like false teaching, sin, or bad influence, can spread and affect an entire group or community. Well, the actual verse is a little leaven leavens the whole lump. Which
Leaven.
means if you put a little bit of yeast in something, well, it's going to take over the whole thing. It corrupts the whole bowl or the whole, dough or whatever.
Yeah.
It goes
Yeah.
hand in hand with what James was saying, and that's why I looked it up for
Yeah,
you.
that was really good. Yeah, absolutely. I was thinking about that, but I didn't know where it was at. Where's that located at?
Galatians 5:9 and 1 Corinthians 5:6.
Galatians. Man, I tell you what, I wished I was good like a lot of other people. They can just think of like a verse and they can say, well, that's verse from Matthew 12, and what I mean? They can pull up stuff, and I never have been good at that. And I guess one of the things is I'm always afraid of taking the words and like not getting them right. Because one word, the Bible says don't add to, don't take from, right? Well, we're in trouble. You really got to be careful. Absolutely. I mean, it's kind of a no-brainer thing to say, right? But we know that they've already changed some things in the Bible, like I forget where it's at, but one place where it says it's supposed to say in the earth, and they changed it now to on the earth. Huge difference. That's just one example. I don't remember exactly where it's at, but anyway, I think we're going to wrap up the video here, but I may actually jump in and just do another video. I'm not real for sure yet, but hey, I appreciate you guys so much. Thanks for hanging in there to the end of this one here. Remember, this whole video is to just show you're not calling in to a representative. You're not going to get anywhere. You're not going to do any good. You are wasting your time. You're wasting your time. We don't need to ask any more, I don't know, asking questions, all right, at any time. But we really don't need to ask any more questions when it comes to whether or not we should move on, or actually, that's even wrong to say. We don't need to ask questions. We just need to start coming up with answers now, We've asked questions and asked questions. Nobody's going to answer them. Nobody's coming to the rescue. Nobody. Yeshua is our one and only Savior. But if we're going to... Oh, you know what? I may do another video because I have been thinking about doing something. You see, it's one thing to say, well, they're cloud seeding in the sky. They're cloud seeding. They're spreading poison on us. Okay, well, after 2,000 people have put videos on there like, look here they're spreading poison, and then they show you the pilots themselves saying, well, I'm getting paid to do this, so I'm going to poison my own kids and my wife and my family or whoever it is, my mom and dad. I don't give a crap because I'm just going to get that money. I've actually had people that are doing these data centers and stuff, driving trucks and stuff like that to there, and I'm here to tell you that if you are somebody employed to do that, you're wrong. I don't give a crap what anybody says. Even during the vid, what did they say? You had so many people saying, well, I got to take that shot because I got to keep my job. Well, you know what I would say at any point in time? You keep that damn job. And I would have went somewhere out on my property in the United States of America, wherever you choose, out in the woods, and I would have said, hey, it's going to be rough there, Mama Bear, but we're going to have to shoot us some deers, we're going to have to build us some traps, or whatever, pile as much as you can into your vehicle, automobile or whatever, and take off, and hopefully they don't pull you over on the way, right? Because if you do, let me see your driver's license that you don't have to have. It's a bunch of garbage. The whole driver's license is we'll do another one on that sometime or whatever, but you don't need them, you don't need them, you don't need them. If you haven't heard about not having to have driver's license yet, we're going to have a video on anyway, one here before too long, or at least it'll be part of a video. But if you know anything about that, put it in the comments. And if this is the first time that you're hearing about you don't need a driver's license, put that in the comments. I'd like to hear from each and every one of you. Man, it's awesome to actually be able to see faces and stuff with some of the names. Amazing. Hey, listen, we're going to end this here. But I got an idea for another video, so I might try to do that. Yeshua first and always. Peace out.